أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون والذين هم للزكاة فاعلون والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون إلا على أزواجهم أو ما ملكت أيمانهم فإنهم غير ملومين، فمن ابتغى وراء ذلك فأولئك هم العادون. والذين هم لأماناتهم وعهدهم راعون والذين هم على صلواتهم يحافظون أولئك هم الوارثون الذين يرثون الفردوس هم فيها خالدون. ولقد خلقنا الإنسان من سلالة من طين ثم جعلناه نطفة في قرار مكين ثم خلقنا النطفة علقة فخلقنا العلقة مضغة فخلقنا المضغة عظاما فكسونا العظام لحما ثم أنشأناه خلقا آخر فتبارك الله أحسن الخالقين. ثم إنكم بعد ذلك لميتون ثم إنكم يوم القيامة تبعثون. ولقد خلقنا فوقكم 7 طرائق وما كنا عن الخلق غافلين. وأنزلنا من السماء ماء بقدر فأسكناه في الأرض وإنا على ذهاب به لقادرون. فأنشأنا لكم به جنات من نخيل وأعناب لكم فيها فواكه كثيرة ومنها تأكلون. وشجرة تخرج من طور سيناء تنبت بالدهن وصبغ للآكلين. وإن لكم في الأنعام لعبرة نسقيكم مما في بطونها ولكم فيها منافع كثيرة ومنها تأكلون وعليها وعلى الفلك تحملون. ولقد أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه فقال يا قوم اعبدوا الله ما لكم من إله غيره أفلا تتقون. فقال الملأ الذين كفروا من قومه ما هذا إلا بشر مثلكم يريد أن يتفضل عليكم ولو شاء الله لأنزل ملائكة ما سمعنا بهذا في آبائنا الأولين إن هو إلا رجل به جنة فتربصوا به حتى حين. قال رب انصرني بما كذبون. فأوحينا إليه أن اصنع الفلك بأعيننا ووحينا فإذا جاء أمرنا وفارت النور فاسلك فيها من كل زوجين 2 وأهلك إلا من سبق عليه القول منهم ولا تخاطبني في الذين ظلموا إن إنهم مغرقون فإذا استويت أنت ومن معك على الفلك فقل الحمد لله الذي نجانا من القوم الظالمين وقل رب أنزلني منزلا مباركا وأنت خير المنزلين إن في ذلك لآيات وإن كنا لمبتلين ثم أنشأنا من بعدهم قرنا آخرين فأرسلنا فيهم رسولا منهم أن يعبدوا الله ما لكم من إله غيره أفلا تتقون وقال الملأ من قومه الذين كفروا وكذبوا بلقاء الآخرة وأترفناهم في الحياة الدنيا ما هذا إلا بشر مثلكم يأكل مما تأكلون منه ويشرب مما تشربون ولئن أطعتم بشرا مثلكم إنكم إذا لخاسرون أيعدكم أنكم إذا متم وكنتم ترابا وعظاما أنكم مخرجون.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala begins this surah and this juz, the 18th juz, Surah Al-Mu'minun, by telling us that indeed successful are the believers. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you want to be successful, who do you have to be from? The believers, the people of Iman, Amanu, Tayyib. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us some of the characteristics of the people of Iman. How do you know a mu'min? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, obviously the aqidah, the belief is already there, they're mu'minun. But there are characteristics. Those who offer their salah with submissiveness. Yani, الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Khashya of Allah. When you realize the greatness of Allah, that you're standing in salah, if you want to know about your own iman, see how you are in your salah. If you're in your salah and you're the whole time fidgeting and your whole time moving around, the whole time you're worried about something else and your khushu' is not there, your concentration is not there, you're not standing in a way that is humbled in front of your Lord, then this is a weakness in iman, this is a weakness. Then you don't have the sifa of the mu'minun. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, not just that they pray. Yani, just praying makes you a Muslim. The one who doesn't pray at all, man tarku salah faqad kafar. Rasulullah said, whoever abandoned the salah altogether, verily he's become a kafir. Tayyib? But just praying is not enough to be a mu'min. A mu'min is the one that has khushu' in his salah. May Allah give us the khushu' in salah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about them, and they are those who turn away from lahu, yani false or dirty or filthy or useless talk. And when we talk, we need to talk about things that are beneficial. We need to talk about things that help our iman. We need to talk about things that are halal. Some people, every time they open their mouth, nothing but filth comes out, nothing but perverted ideas, nothing but curse words and things that take you away from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then this is not a sifa of the mu'min. And those who pay the zakat, zakat has, in the Bab al-Tafsir here, there are more than one meaning. One is the fard zakatul mal, the wealth that you have and you've saved for a year, you pay yearly the zakat on that, 2.5%. Then on top of that, there is zakatul fitr, as is coming up at the end of Ramadan. Then there are other sadaqat, which we call today sadaqah istalahan, not just a fard, but past that. The believer is the one that gives for the sake of Allah. And those who guard their chastity, they are upon their private parts, that they don't use them in the incorrect manner. They don't go into zina, they don't go into haram and things like this. Except from their wives or what their right hand possesses, for them they are free of blame. Islam does not tell us to be priests, like the Catholic idea of being celibate and things like this. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created a way for insan. A man and a woman, they get married, and that's how humanity furthers itself. If you just sit there in a monastery like many of the Catholic priests and never get married, that's not natural. That's not fitrah. That's not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created insan for. And that's why you see many of the perversions that come out of the Catholic Church, or many of the things like this with nuns as well, that because you go against fitrah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, no, there is no blame if you get married and you deal in those relations, or whatever way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made halal, that's fine. But they don't go into that which is haram. But whoever seeks beyond that, then those are the transgressors. Whoever goes beyond the limits that Allah has set, that they are the ones who are adun, they are the one that transgress the bounds. Those who are faithfully true to their amanat, next Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going back to the sifat of the believer, that they are mindful of the amana and make sure the amana is fulfilled to the best way. What does that mean? It is very important that we understand. If somebody gives you an amana, let's say I trust you with my car, for example. For you to be like, well, it's not my car, let me just use it rough and let me break it up and who cares? No. And you are not fulfilling the amana. If somebody trusts you with a loan, somebody gives you money and you're like, well, I'm going to go spend it and not care. No. You're not fulfilling the amana. And in amana, it's a relationship between you and Allah, not even you and that person. Because somebody trusts you with something, you could say, it broke. And you know that it didn't break, that you kept it. And that person may believe you, but Allah knows. And that's the sifah of the mu'min, that he is very careful with amana. And to their oaths, when they make a agreement with somebody or a covenant with somebody, if they make a deal, they make a business dealing with somebody, they are careful to make sure that it's fulfilled in the best way. And those who strictly guide their salawat. Tayyib, guarding their salawat here, what does it mean? الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَى صَلَاتِهِمْ يُحَافِظُونَ. In the bab of tafsir, ulama have explained this from the aqwal of Sahaba radiallahu anhum and others, that one is to establish your salah, qimus salah. Another is to have khashya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your salah. Fi salatihim khashi'un, which is also sifah. And then there is to be hafidhun. What does that mean? That one, you make sure you make your salah at the right time. You don't pray salah late, out of its time. Like it's time for Asr is already in, you're praying Dhuhr. No, you didn't protect your salah. Then you take it to another level where you try to make it as early time, except for some salawat which are better to delay. But most salawat is better to make it at the early time. So you don't pray it right when the time is going out. You try to make it at its early time. And you protect it from distractions. You make it without fidgeting and moving. You protect it by making your salah in accordance to the right sunnah, according to the way of the Prophet ﷺ. Not that you make your salah any way that you like. No, you find out what is the sunnah in the salah. So you protect the salah from losing the reward, from its timing, and for the men trying to make it in jama'ah. This is from the bab of tafsir for this ayah. These are indeed the ones who will inherit. What will they inherit? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the next ayah, those who shall inherit Al-Firdaus, yani the highest level in Jannah, Jannatul Firdaus Al-A'la, and they shall dwell therein forever. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't create us to finish. And we had a beginning. There was a time when we were nothing, and Allah gave us a beginning, but Allah made us not to have an end. So Allah made a realm of everlasting existence, which is the Akhirah. In that realm, there's only two final destinations. The Araf is there for a while, but then there are two final destinations. One is Al-Jannah, which can only be described as a pleasure you can't imagine. This is in essence. And An-Nar, which can only be described as a punishment you couldn't fathom. May Allah make us from the people of Jannah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about those mu'minun and their qualities, and He tells them what they're the ones that will be living forever. Where? In Al-Jannah. And indeed we created man, and He reference to Adam alayhi salam here, out of an extract of clay. Why? Because today, obviously we are not made from clay as a child. A child you don't go to a pottery barn and make a child. We are, but where did insan's building block come from? And this clay, again, as the ulama have explained, it doesn't mean that Adam alayhi salam was made like a pot, and if water fell on it, he would melt away. No, this is a building block, like the jinn being with fire, but not like the fire you light at home. Thereafter, we made him, meaning the offsprings of Adam alayhi salam. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explaining that even if Adam alayhi salam was made from, and Allah knows better the exacts of it, but from an extract of clay, but not the children of Adam alayhi salam. And here the thing, thereafter from his offsprings, they came from a nutfa, that which is mixed between the male and female discharge, and that's logged into a safe place. What is that reference to? The womb. And then we made the nutfa into a clot, a piece of blood, or a clot of what is going to become flesh. And then we made that clot into a lump of flesh. And then we made out of that little lump of flesh bones. And then we clothed the bones with flesh. And then we brought it forth as another creation. So blessed is Allah, the best of creators. Subhanallah, this is one of the scientific miracles of the Quran. The development of the fetus in the womb of the mother could not have possibly been known to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The technology didn't exist. The scientific know-how didn't exist in Arabia in that time, in that 6th century. Impossible, scientifically impossible. Dr. Mirs Burkai, other scientists have said it is impossible to have known this detail of how the fetus develops in the womb of the mother. This is a miracle in front of us. And after that, surely you will die. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, yes, we created you, but remember there is death. And then again, surely you will be resurrected on the day of resurrection. That the life isn't all. You will be raised again. And then, and indeed, we have created above you 7 samawat, 7 heavens or skies, one above the other. And we are never unaware of the creation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is never heedless of what's going on. He's always aware of what goes on everywhere. And we sent down from the sky water, in reference to rain, in due measure, and we gave it lodging in earth, and verily we are able to take it away. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, we sent water in proper measure. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if He wanted, He can take all this water away and we would have no choice. Then we brought forth for you therein gardens of date palms and grapes, wherein is much fruit for you and whereof you eat, and a tree, and the reference here is to the olive tree that springs forth from Mount Sinai and grows or produces oil, zayt zaytun, and a reference to olive oil, and it is a relish for the eaters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is giving examples to insan of different favors that Allah has done and different things that Allah has put for insan, from food, from trees, from fruits, from olives, things that we use and never thank Allah, but never think where did this come from. And verily in the cattle there is indeed a lesson for you. We give you to drink, the milk of that which is in their bellies, and there are in them numerous other benefits for you, and of them you eat. When you eat, you make burgers and steaks. And of them, and on ships you are carried. You benefit from those creatures as well. And then look at the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the ability to go on ships and cross oceans. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after that has given us so many other blessings in the means of transport. And indeed we sent Nuh alayhi salatu salam to his people, and he said, O my people, worship Allah and have no other ilah, no other God but Him. Will you not be afraid of being punished if you worship other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? After mentioning all these bounties, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is bringing our attention to how insan is. The first aspects of shirk came to insan in the time of Nuh alayhi salam. Before Nuh alayhi salam, there was Adam alayhi salam. Adam alayhi salam, he was a Nabi of Allah. His children, even if they sinned, they weren't mushrikeen, they didn't make shirk. And from their generations, when generations passed and the pious amongst them died, they decided to make statues. First they made graves, then they made the graves big, and developed on them, which is against the Sharia, to put domes and things on graves. Then they made statues, which is against the Sharia, until it led them to shirk. Step by step, it led them to shirk. And when they started to make shirk, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through His mercy sent Nuh alayhi salam to remind those people. But the people, they didn't listen, but the chiefs or the leaders of the people who disbelieved said, He is no more than a man, a human being like you. So he seeks to make himself superior to you. And had Allah willed, He surely would have sent down angels. Never did we hear such a thing amongst our fathers of old. Ajib, this lesson should be learned. The people of Nuh alayhi salam, why did they deny Nuh alayhi salam? They said, oh, he's just a human being. The same thing the people said about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the Anbiya are human beings. They are not malaika. That's what Allah chose, to bring Anbiya from amongst us, from the humans. And they gave a false assumption. They said, oh, he's just trying to make himself superior. He's just trying to gather power. And that's why if you look at the Anbiya and if you look at the Salihin, they don't ask for money, they don't ask for authority. They're doing it for the sake of Allah. But people always try to make such false accusations in order to distract people from the truth. The people used to say, oh, these people calling towards Allah, they're paid by the British. Oh, they're paid by the FBI, they're paid by this. Oh, these people, they're paid by Saudi. Saudi gives them money, this. If they're calling towards Allah and they're calling towards what's right, then if the British, if the FBI, if the CIA is funding them, then that's a very good thing they're doing. And why don't you get on that payroll then? And if you're going to be calling towards Allah and towards Tawheed and towards the Haqq, but people know that's not real. They just make those accusations up. If Saudi is giving them money to call towards good, then you should make dua for Saudiya. And if people make these accusations just to try to distract people. And what did they say? That we didn't hear about this from our fathers. Meaning, like even today we tell somebody the Quran says this, the Hadith says this. They said, oh, in my country they didn't do that. Oh, I didn't see my father, my grandfather, my culture, my people. My culture doesn't do that. My madhab doesn't have that. My sheikh didn't say that. We're telling you what Quran says, what a hadith says, then leave everybody else. They said, he's only a man in whom is madness. Then they tried, like now, first he was some intelligent guy trying to make himself superior, but when that doesn't work, now he's crazy. So wait for him a while, and he just wait and he'll go away. Nuh alayhi salam said, O my Rabb, O my Lord, help me because they deny me. Nuh alayhi salam, he gave them da'wah. He didn't despair, but to a point where they wouldn't listen. And again, we'll talk about this later, but he gave da'wah for 950 years. 900, open and secret, day and night. So we revealed to him, construct the ship under our eyes and under our revelation, yani guidance. Then when our command comes and water gushes forth from the oven, take on board of each kind two, yani two of each type of animal, male and female, and your family, and accept those thereof against whom the word has already gone forth, and address me not in favor of those who have gone wrong. Verily they are to be drowned, and they are going to be drowned. Nuh alayhi salam is given instructions, a very difficult task. Build a ship. It's dry land, you're building a ship. People laugh at you. You're in the middle of mountains, how are you going to get it to the ocean? But it's the order of Allah. So you obey the order of Allah. People laugh, we obey the order of Allah. In the end, you'll see who laughs. And he's told that when the water starts gushing, and from a tafsir there's a lot, and it would not gush out of rivers, so people would say, oh, it's just a natural phenomenon. But Allah made the water gush out of their own houses, from their own ovens, where they used to cook. And when that water starts to rise, then take two kinds of each type of animal, so then they can reproduce again. And your own family, but who is your family here? Those who believe. Who is the family? Those that even may be relatives of yours, but they are kuffar, they are not considered your family here in the context of this ayah. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about them, that don't even make dua for them, don't try to intercede for them, because their hukam is done. And when you have embarked on the ship, and whoever is with you, then say, all praises and thanks are to Allah, whom have saved us from the people who were dhalimun. When Allah protects you and Allah saves you, thank Allah. Turn to Allah in being thankful. And say, my Lord, cause me to land in a blessed place, for you are the best of those who bring to land. Verily in this, what we did as regards to drowning the people of Nuh, where indeed there are ayats for the people of understanding. For sure we are ever putting to the test. Yani Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does that mean here? That Allah knew best how to deal with the people of Nuh. And Allah will always test us. And those that fail, Allah will destroy them and bring somebody new. And those that pass the test should always thank Allah. Then after them we created another generation, and we sent to them a messenger from amongst themselves, saying, worship Allah, and you have no other ilah but Him. Will you not be afraid, yani, of the punishment of Allah? And the chiefs of His people, who disbelieved and denied the meeting in the hereafter with Allah, and to whom we had given the luxuries and comforts of this life, said, He is no more than a man, human being like you. He eats of that which you eat and drinks of that which you drink. If you were to obey a human being like yourselves, then verily indeed you would be from the losers. Does He promise you that when you have died and have become dust and bones, you shall come out alive? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us here that after the destruction of the people of Nuh, and the earth was swiped clean, what is rajih, the whole world was flooded except for the people of Nuh. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether this was the ice age or not or whatever, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought forth people again from the generations of Nuh alayhi salam, and they went all over the world and they settled. So now at a time when there was no shirk once again on earth, then people started to go astray, and the same thing, story repeated itself. And the same thing happened in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The people made the same things. Oh, how can, when they started to do shirk, Allah sent the Anbiya again from amongst them, and they denied those Anbiya. These are just regular people, they eat and drink. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that these people who make these claims, can they promise you an akhirah? Can they help you after death? Can they give life to you after you have died? Can they deal with you on the day of judgment? No. So ignore them and listen to the messengers. Listen to what is in the wahi. Listen to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent and the anbiya that are sent. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to implement what we hear from the Quran.